Good morning, beauties. Good morning, family. I wanted to share this morning and inquire also of you about what you know about the Earth's frequencies, such as the Schumann resonance and things like the frequencies that affect the Earth, like the solar flares that have been happening, right? We've had solar flares always happen, right? This is not an unusual thing. It's not an anomaly, but we've been inside of a massive solar storm for, I believe it's been almost 9 months, maybe more. And it's been huge, right? And there's some beautiful stations. Stefan Burns on YouTube, really, he's a geophysicist, and he goes in and really describes and maps and tracks things like the Schumann resonance and the activity of the sun. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because this again is part of our embodied experience as humans right now, and as sensitive humans who are working toward and calling back in our sovereignty as embodied souls, right? Souls with a body. We want to know about things like the Schumann resonance and solar flares. Now, all of that said, you already know about them because you are feeling something in your body that might feel unusual, that might feel even awkward, disturbing, uncomfortable, right? Or some people might be feeling uplifted, enlightened, right? Excited. But the real deal here, and what I am talking about over and over again, is, and calling in, right? Not talking, just talking about. Calling back into memory, calling you into your remembering of the deep, potent awareness that lives inside of you. Now, where is that awareness located? There is no one who can pin that down. Okay? One thing that many of us agree on is that we have some kind of a generative spirit, and it lives inside of this beautiful thing we call our body. Okay, my body, your body, our bodies. And there's a deep, innate intelligence that lives, I can say, inside of you, all around of us, all around us, right? Everywhere. So this innate intelligence is your indicator, right? Signals go off from your body in response to what is happening around you, what is happening for you, with you, right? Honestly, and we know this by way of quantum physics, there is no separation. There is a great mystery as we dive deeper and deeper and deeper, and we look more closely and more closely and more closely at the activity of life. It gets smaller and smaller and more mysterious and more intricate, and then there's a desire to look further, like where is the origin, right? We live in a fractal universe, right? This repetition of these beautiful patterns. You are part of that. You are an intricate and beautiful pattern. And your experience here is a responsive experience, right? And I'm going to use that word responsive very, very, very consciously, right? There's reactive, right? To react. And often reaction comes out of, and I'm talking about emotional reaction, comes from some stored story that has been lodged in your body, your embodied experience. And perhaps it's a pain story from a long time ago in this lifetime, maybe beyond this lifetime. And the reaction has become, right, a knee-jerk reaction, right? They tap your knee with the little hammer, and then your knee is, your leg flips up, right? Almost on automatic, right? Somebody says particular words, somebody has a particular tone of voice, and before you know it, right, reaction versus responsiveness. Now really listen to the sound of that word, right? Words are created by humans, and we're constantly changing language. Language is meant to adapt to our experience and our desire to express, right? So the sound of react, respond, right? To respond. For me, there is a pause in the word respond. Now, this is how my experience is with words and sound vibration, right? The vibratory field. So responding to something in your environment versus reacting. Is there a time and a place for reaction? Absolutely. We really better be able to react if a car suddenly swerves into our lane while we are driving, right? We're not going to go, what should my response be at this moment, right? Maybe deep inside of you that's happening, but you're going to react, right? You're going to go, whoof, automatic, right? Your body. You're going to move it. You're going to get out of the way, okay? We have a multiple array of intelligence inside of us. But what I'm speaking to this morning is your ability to be aware and be conscious and awake to the fact of all of the multiple layers of energies that your body is experiencing at any given moment, and then choosing to be aware of that and learning how to be responsive to the messages of your body. For example, the Schumann resonance has been recorded as being extraordinarily high as compared to its standard resonance lately. I'm speaking at the end of summer, Northern Hemisphere, 2025, right? And we've had massive solar weather, right? There is some dispute in some populations whether this would ever affect a human being. As far as I'm concerned, any statement about how that might not affect the human is just nonsense, and I'm just going to speak that straight up. We're all connected to everything, right? This is one beautiful field of sound, vibration, and movement. We are part of that. So we are going to be feeling everything that is happening. Certainly we will be feeling a shift in the electromagnetic field between the Earth and the ionosphere, which is where the Schumann resonance resides. And we will certainly feel massive coronal ejections from the sun, which are directed at the Earth. So how have you been feeling? This is the ongoing question that I am bringing forth here. How is your body feeling? And how would you like to respond to the information that your body is giving you? I've heard reports of, and myself have experienced, right, rising sort of head tension, headaches. Many people, right? I see a lot of people in my practice, but I also, interact with a lot of humans, as do you, right? And directly interact with my community. And I've just heard reports of, wow, I'm getting so many headaches. I feel like I'm getting migraines more often, right? Tension, vascular tension, head issues, head aches, or I don't know why, but I'm just feeling inordinately fatigued, right? So these are not just, and I'm not just strictly speaking about of just sort of the physiological response to physical occurrences, which solar flares are, the Schumann resonance, physical, right, somewhere in between, but it is something that's, right, they can know precisely where it is resonating at any given point with intricate, referential machines, right, that will record this. And the mysterious, energetic, right, that we are also can respond to. But often we are reacting to it. Oh my God, what's wrong? Oh no, right? And sometimes, again, reaction is appropriate at certain times. Calling yourself back into center, calling yourself back into the centerpiece of your experience here on earth, which is this vehicle, this vessel. This is our reference point for our soul's experience here on earth. So tending this beautiful, beautiful vessel, listening with your outer ear, your inner ear, right? This breath process that I'm talking about, this 3-minute deep, 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 slow inhale filling up. Long, slow, expressive exhale, right? Doing this for 3 minutes in order to bring your awareness back so that you can actually look down at your own body and you can ask yourself, how am I feeling? What's going on? What are these symptoms that I've been having? What have I been experiencing? And before you pathologize any of the things you've been experiencing, that you actually wait and listen and observe and actually ask your body, what do you need? Let's say in response to, right, you might be interested in pursuing this thing about the Schumann resonance and actually pursuing and finding out what is it. Finding out, oh, what have people been saying about their experience, right? The solar flares, same thing. But to tend to your body knowing, I don't think there's a person here who isn't already aware that things have gotten pretty intense. Okay, there's a lot of energy from all over coming in. Your body is your resource. Your body is your beauty, right? Your body is your vessel where you can become a translation station, right? I speak about channeling here, right? Channeling is something that everybody is doing. Sometimes they're just unconsciously channeling. Channeling just means you are receiving information and you are expressing something, many things, based on that. Now, if you're unconscious, you might just be in a constant reactive state, right? Reacting verbally to what you are receiving, but you're not pausing to experience what you're receiving, waking yourself up, consciously regarding yourself as a translation station, and deciding which channels you wish to tune into, and finding out what your body needs in order to become a strong vessel, so that perhaps you can start channeling the beauty channel, right? And when I'm talking about beauty, as I've spoken of here before, the being beauty channel, the broadcasting beauty, being an offering of beauty on the planet. As my dear, beautiful teacher, Reverend Michael Beckwith says, being a beneficial presence on the planet. that requires and requests that you become awake to the immense sensitivity and intelligence of your body, right? Consciousness is not contained by the body. The body is a receiver of and a translator for consciousness, which is what we are all. We are all consciousness, right? Such a mystery, right? There's no landing point. Anybody who says to you, I have the absolute answer, this is what it is to be alive. Personally, I would lean back, way back, take a profound pause, and kindly ask a question, right, of myself. Does anybody know precisely what we're doing here? Exactly, right? That somebody can give a formula for the entire planet? No. You are the medicine. Okay? This is what I have been hearing one way or the other all of my life, since I was a tiny little child. I will share with you one of my earliest memories. When I was very, very little, I had these kind of mimicking, not nice, not kind voices around me, right? And I was just a little child having this interesting life on planet Earth. You know, a lovely, loving, wild, artistic, creative mother, right? Living in an amazing spot on the earth, you know, at an amazing time. The Haight-Ashbury, right, in San Francisco. I was little, tiny, so I wasn't down on Haight Street, right, as a teenager, but I was inside of a milieu, right, that was expansive. So I was having these kind of negative, not kind voices in my head, and something in me, as a very little child, absolutely said, you are not allowed in my head. I literally have a memory of myself saying, get out of my head. Get out. I was very young, maybe 5, 6. They were gone. It was gone. Okay? You have sovereignty within you. It is part of your blueprint. You are being called at this time on earth to define your own parameters, to give yourself back your power, right? And there are many, 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 many ways to do that. For me personally, it starts with listening to and activating principles in my body, because that is the little spaceship that my soul lives in. And yours too. Eventually, right, you can do things like explore leaving the body. Like, right, there are all kinds of things you can do. First of all, though, actually arrive in your body consciously. Really take possession of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vehicle that is filled with miraculous ability. Okay, step 1, be here with yourself. Become a translation station. Decide which channel you want to tune into and start to invite reception of beauty, right? Whatever, right? I'm working for the big love, right? I don't have any question in me about what channel I am tuned into. Now, have I had experiences of, right, for lack of a better word, what we call dark entities? Absolutely have. Absolutely. When I made myself too open, I wasn't taking care of my vessel, I wasn't consciously communing with and caring for my vessel, and I left myself wide open as a sensitive, you know, psychic channel type of a human, which, by the way, you are too. But I was, you know, been actively having supernormal, paranormal, psychic, spirit experiences since I was teeny tiny, and left myself wide open because I wasn't fine-tuning my own vessel. And yes, I've had encounters with very, very, very dark spirits who did not have my best interest in mind. Again, things flew out of my mouth that I had no idea where they came from, and I banished them. By way of that, I activated some prayers that just came to me, and I utilize on the regular, and I share, and I will share those with you. And well, no, let's just do it now. Okay, here's a simple prayer that came through me long time ago. I share it with my clients. I utilize it if I feel like, ooh, something a little bit, a little prickly here that I don't want in my space. And it goes like this. And I use the hand, okay? There is nothing and no one that can enter my physical, mental, spiritual, psychological space without my permission. And here comes the clap. And I do not give it. I do not give it. I do not give it. Blessed be, and so it is. Right? No human taught me that. It was channeled through me in response to energies that I was feeling. And it works. The reason it works is because you are saying to yourself, I am in charge of what energy I wish to have in my space. I will respond from my own authority and my own sovereignty. Word is powerful. Vibration behind the word is really the power. All right, my loves, I love you so much. I will come back, and I look forward to connecting with you again so soon. Big love.